So last week we modified this Magnum Opus to be a little bit different than this. Basically, I made a base model version of it, and I took off all the fancy stuff and, I don't know, tried to make it poverty spec, as it were. We went from a total of $3 million, which is insane. That would be here. This car approximately costs $3 million, all the way down to 27,000. So it was a fairly significant reduction in price. But today we're going to be doing something different with this same car, the one that we started with last time. This is a clone of it because I want to try and make this thing go as fast as it can in reverse. Now, I have actually done this before and I was able to achieve 200 kilometers an hour going backwards, but today I'm going to attempt to beat my record. Hopefully it's actually possible. The reason I'm using this car is because it's ridiculous. It's already set up to be able to go, oh wow, the gearing is actually super screwed, but potentially 750 kilometers an hour? I don't think that's actually going to happen. Wow, everything is messed up. So there you go. At full gearing, this car will theoretically do 558.5 kilometers an hour forwards. Let's attempt to get that same thing going the other way. The reason I want to attempt this now is because the most recent beta has added the ability to change every individual gear, and reverse gear is first gear as far as I'm aware. We'll have to do some testing on that, but reverse is first. So currently first gear is limited to 150. We're going to have to do better than that. But I do want to make some other changes to the car because this thing was made in a time before the sandbox tech pool tools, and I think we might be able to extract a little bit extra power before we go full reverse. You can see everything here is +0. I'm going to go ahead and make that the highest it can be, which is +15, and that'll give us just the most possible options. There we go. Now we have +15, and I bet the car has gone up in price significantly. Actually, it's gone way down. What the heck happened? Well, everything seems to be screwed up now when you have older cars in newer builds, but either way, I think we can do better than this. Okay, it doesn't look like it, but I have modified the car slightly. It makes a little bit more power than it did before. We're up to 2,723.7 horsepower, a little bit higher RPM, and yeah, I upped the body quality as well, so I'm expecting that the price of it's gone up significantly. Not much, actually. Strangely enough, this thing actually gets extremely good fuel economy, 5.9 liters per 100k. That is better than my wife's RAV4 hybrid, shockingly enough. Okay, now let's screw it up. I have a couple of ideas for this. Rear-wheel drive is interesting. We can actually get up to 604. One of the things I was thinking about as well is that this thing has like a race diffuser and stuff. So let's go flow optimized, and we'll cut down on the amount of downforce that we have, because downforce is actually kind of a bad thing in this situation. We don't want too much. So I was going to cut the wing right off of it, but I don't know how downforce works totally in this game. Is it going to only work for us going forwards, or is it going to matter if we go backwards? That's the real test, but we'll find out. The rear has basically none, and the front is uplift, so not much we can do about that. I'll just have to leave it as is unless I cut the wings off. But you can see we've actually gained top speed because of that, 620 kilometers an hour forwards. Now I do want to go to all-wheel drive. I know that that is going to affect our speed because it takes away from weight and it is going to mess up things, but I believe it should give us better grip, which will help a lot with this whole setup. So all-wheel drive it is. The next thing I'm not super sure about is, can we just type in what we want here? Could I put 300? No. Okay, so 150 is our theoretical max first gear top speed. Are we just going to have to lessen the spread in order to get that higher? I think I'm genuinely just going to have to do oh, that's the wrong way. We're just going to have to go this way on this. 1,100 and yeah, that's a lot. I don't think we even need the other gears. So with a ridiculously high final drive and a 2-speed dual clutch, we could possibly get up to 344. That's forwards, but it would all be like gear 1 and 2 are the same, so it would all be in reverse theoretically. I wonder, oh geez, that's not a good sign, but I was thinking for a continuous, if first gear is huge, which it unfortunately can't be, I guess, I don't know. I'm gonna try and export one version of this car with a CVT, and then I'm going to try again with a different version. So pause for a sec, let's export the CVT one. Okay, with a 2-speed manual with final drive set to like 10, which is ridiculous, we might be able to do what I want to do. You can see here, this would make it so that first gear could theoretically be all the way up to 600 kilometers an hour. So maybe I need to lower this final drive. I know the top speed is really what we're after, but it's difficult because in theory we can get up to this, but then realistically we're going to stop dead right here. We're never even going to get into second gear. So maybe somewhere around 5 is the best sort of compromise for that. This is looking pretty good here. Okay, 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, theoretical top speed of 343.8. I'm very curious to see how this is going to work. I think it's going to be good, so hopefully. Let's try it out in BeamNG. And we might have to come back in automation to fix it. But yes, we have a new fancy black paint job for the real deal. 2-speed manual, boys. This is back in the 30s. Let's get it moving. Alright, let's start off with the CVT version. Unfortunately, as soon as I spawned it, its front tires went out, which is really awkward. There is a possible way to fix this if you're curious. One of the things you can do is change the tire pressure, and I'm just going to do that real quick. 21 psi, 21.5, that fixed it, so I'll just have to do that on the other car as well, because it's having the same problem, of course. One of the other things that we can do here is change the gear ratios, and including the reverse gear ratio. So this is going to make some interesting stuff happen, because changing the reverse gear ratio means that we might be able to get a lot more speed out of it. Let's keep that in mind. Moving back over to the CVT, let's see how it does in reverse. I'm going to turn off the ESC and stuff immediately, although it's... Hold on a sec. We've got 2-wheel drive off. I don't know if that's actually changeable. Oh, it's quick in reverse. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. We're actually doing over 200 something kilometers an hour in reverse. I didn't think it would be this easy, but CVT's changed the game, man. Okay, I've literally had to put the tire pressure down to 12.5 psi in order to get them to stop braking immediately, because that seems to be a big problem with this car. It has got, in this current exported variant, I really need to basically redo the entire car because it is just bouncy and broken. The Magnum Opus needs a redo, boys. I think that's got to be coming up soon. Look at how bouncy the suspension is. It's so soft. I hate it. Anyway, it's hard to see a car I really like do this. Let's make it go in reverse full speed and just give it a full-on send, boys. Let's go for it. CVT. Let's get that top speed run, and then we'll run the other one and see how that goes. Alright, starting off slowly. I'm going to build up the speed. You can see I'm like 20-something% throttle. The actual air speed is what we're looking for. I don't really care about what it says on the speedometer. That's not the actual top speed of what we're doing. And it looks like I'm getting like 220 there, something like that, 220-ish. Let's try again. I'm going to try no steering, just no corrections at all unless it desperately needs it. 250, 260, 270, 280. That's 301 kilometers an hour in reverse. Admittedly, we are doing a bit of a loop, but I don't particularly care. 303 kilometers an hour reversed. I've actually smashed my own record, and the back end is going wild. Wow, this is turning out way better than I thought. Okay, I have an idea. Let's mess up the ratio a little bit and see how it works with that. One thing about CVTs is with no gear changes, it still rips hard, even with like a really crappy ratio. And I like that a lot. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Quickly going into the tuning, or the vehicle config, I mean. Currently our reverse gear, I believe, is 0.36 to 1. If I can find it, I probably missed it. Ah, wait a minute. we can't change it because it's a CVT. Ah, I'm an idiot. Okay, lowest transmission that the transmission can use, the maximum ratio that it can use. I don't know how this works for a CVT. This is unknown territory for me. If we change the lowest ratio a little bit, let's change it to like 0.3, and then we just change the highest ratio to 2.2. Is that going to make any difference? Like, it's such a small amount. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try though. Let's give it a shot. Just a little tweak on the CVT, full reverse, and yeah, same thing that we did last time. Okay, she's still pulling hard. That's 350, 360. Oh my goodness, it makes a huge difference. That is 391 kilometers an hour in reverse. Can we hit 400? I'm going to tweak it just slightly. Just ever so slightly. Oh, it's so darn close. I saw 399. 400 kilometers an hour in reverse. Oh, man. What else can I do? Okay, so obviously those changes made a big difference. Let's make it even more severe. I'm going to change that ratio once again down to, I don't know, 0.2 maybe? And I'll only change the 1 this time and see how much of a difference that makes. Okay, fairly easily all the way up to 300, and it feels very much the same, although we're going to hit 400 easily. Yeah, so that lower ratio really makes a difference. That's 424 kilometers an hour in reverse. 429 I saw there. Yikes. Okay, let's do this again, but even more. Even more. That is the lowest I can get, 0.1 to 1 ratio for the minimum ratio. I'm so curious as to how fast. This is going to be the fastest that we get with the CVT in this car. 0 to 1 ratio is half of what we just had. So let's try again. It still seemingly drives fairly well, like even just as is. I'm holding it down. It's porpoising like crazy. We're bouncing, but we're still going good. That's a very quick 430. We've surpassed our previous best there. 445, 446. I just want to leave it for a second, see what happens. But that's 450 kilometers an hour reverse. 460. Come on, come on. We're just doing a big loop around the entire map here. Look at the wheels. There's something going on with the wheels in this game. 461 kilometers an hour in reverse, might I remind you. That seems to be the top that we're going to get to. 461. I'm going to try to correct it a little bit so it goes straight. It's really hard to go straight when you're rear steering a car at 460 kilometers an hour. 460... That's it. Okay. 461 is as best I can do with the CVT. That is bananas. The brakes are so strong, the wheels lock up and bounce the entire way out. Let's see what it'll do in drive. Okay, it might actually be faster in reverse than it is forwards. Although that being said, we are gonna... This car is literally a weapon to surpass Metal Gear at this point. Like, I don't know. 470 forwards and I'm gonna run out of space. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, only thing that's been changed here is the tire pressure at the front once again to be very soft because we're having problems with that, and yeah, it's going to be an issue with this car too. I don't want the front wheels to pop, it's just going to screw up the run. But this is the untouched exported version with the manual transmission. I believe it's a 2-speed manual. Yep, 2 speeds. Basically a shifter go-kart. The body is actually made out of very tinted glass. I don't know if you can tell, but it is extremely cool, and I'm definitely going to have to do an all-glass Magnum Opus at some point because, yeah, that's just one of the coolest ideas that I've had. I wanted to test it out in this video, and it actually does export to beamng. This just has a really strong tint on it, so I think we can do better than that. That being said, how fast is this car in reverse? It will not start in reverse. The CVT advantage is definitely showing already. It won't rev. Uh-oh. That's not good. So the engine starts and then it immediately dies. That's not good for this car. I was hoping for a little bit better out of the manual gearbox, but it seems like CVT is king when it comes to these reverse things. I'm going to go ahead and take the first gear ratio up to like 0.6, I guess. And we'll raise up gear 2 to like, I don't know, something more normal, I guess. 160, 1.67. Hopefully that's enough to actually get this thing going. I might have to put it into second to make it actually work. Alright, let's start her up. Oh, it actually revs now. Okay, good. So a little bit of transmission tweak is all I needed. And it does drive in first, but man, oh man. Not particularly quickly. Okay, let's try reverse. Nah, it just dies in reverse. So the gear ratio is too low to the point that the engine does not have enough torque to overcome what it needs to in order to move. That's what we're experiencing right now. Yikes, that's a problem. So the reverse ratio, I'm going to put it up to 0.4, and that's only a little bit higher than what it was. Let's see if that makes any difference in this situation. I hope it does. Okay, reverse. No, okay, we need more. Okay, this is 0.5 to 1. It still revs in neutral, which is great. Drop it into reverse, and she dies. So we're going up to 0.6, which is the same as it was, or it is in first gear. And it seems to work in first gear, although barely. So somewhere between 0.5 and 0.6 is where it actually needs to be in order to have enough torque to overcome the transmission, which is ridiculous. But again, for the sake of this gimmick, this is a lot of fun. Okay. Oh. It doesn't work. Hold on a second. Now that we can rev. What the heck? Oh man, this is not good at all. Okay, I got it. I was able to do it by holding down the starter in order to help it torque its way through. 50 kilometers an hour in reverse. That's 60. 70. I don't think we're gonna do like 461 like the CVT, but I'm holding my breath. It does have a decent amount of power once you get up there in the torque. That's 200. It's bouncing off the limiter as well. 3. Come on, get grip. Oh jeez, it's doing like 380. It's close, but it's not quite there. Okay, hold on a minute. If I can bump start it in reverse like that, I might be able to do better. This is tough though, this is really tough. I don't know how to make this better with this sort of transmission setup. Okay, let's experiment a little bit and see if I can't just get it right. I mean, we saw how much of a difference even 0.1 makes, so I'm going to drop it down to 0.5. Now it's 0.55, but I'm dropping it down 0.05. Hopefully that makes a little bit of a difference. Okay, here's what I did to actually get it to go, by the way. Reverse, and then turn it off, and then hold the throttle all the way, hit the starter, hold the starter, and then she actually does drive a little bit. So that's the workaround, basically, to get it to move. Building up speed again, this is a little bit of a ratio change. It's not huge, so I'm not expecting a lot. But once it gets up to that 180-ish, it just sort of takes off, which is beautiful to see. It's very similar. That's 390. It is very much wheeling itself over the edge there. 420, I saw 423. Oh my goodness, car, come on, you're darn close. It just basically wants to go in circles, but 420 is the new number there. That is darn close to CVT territory. Don't you think we can do better than that? Alright, let's try it another time. 0.5, I bet it'll work. Okay, admittedly I'm getting cheeky, this is 0.4. I'm gonna hammer the throttle. Oh my goodness. Yes, it'll actually go, but like so darn slowly. You have to hold down the starter in order for it to force it to be on, basically. This is not something that you would want to do in real life because you'd be burning out your starter motor, but this is not real life, so we can do whatever we want. Let's continue. 45. I'm going to be here for a while because this is an extremely low ratio. Or I guess high ratio? Gears are confusing, man. I'm in civil. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm sorry. I cannot pretend to fully understand gearing. Okay, 86, and we're still only like 1,500 RPM. This engine, when it hits boost, it revs hard, so that's where we get that like huge push. But you can see we're only rocking 0.2 bar right now, 0.3. Come on, we got another like 100 kilometers an hour before we actually get into boost. Let's do it. We're gonna be here for a while. This is probably one of the most messed up, but also like most purpose-built vehicles I've ever made, and I really, really like how jank it is. We're gonna have to do something about the suspension for any redos of this challenge, because this bounciness just cannot stand. That is way too much. Okay, we just got to get into the power, but we're struggling a little bit here because the car itself is turning. Straighten her out and she starts to get a little bit more gas. This is going to be the trickiest run of the day, I can already tell. Come on, come on. I can hear it gaining. Okay, we're in boost. We're in boost. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness, 300. 350. Oh. It's turning so bad. 400. That's 430. Come on, we only got like 20 Ks left. 450. Oh, yes. Yes. No, it was 460 for like 2 seconds. 460. 461, 462. We did it. The manual transmission can actually achieve a faster top speed in reverse than the CVT, but it's honestly like evenly matched. That's 462, 463 with this current ratio. Absolutely bananas. That is so much fun. I'm so happy that this has worked. I am absolutely shocked that it actually functions. I'm going to issue a challenge for you as I'm speeding to my imminent death right now. Beat me. Beat me with this. Use my techniques, find better ones, smash my score in reverse. I want to see you guys do better than this. This car only has 2,700 horsepower. You can make cars with like 10,000 horsepower in automation, so I want to see somebody beat me. So buy the game, buy beamng, and then thrash me and let me know in the comments. So, what did we learn today? Really not that much, actually. Honestly, I don't think I really learned anything. This has been a heck of an experiment, but it's also been a very interesting little adventure. Should we just grind the gearbox into dust? Well, the engine's off, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, so this has been a very interesting adventure. I'm really enjoying doing these really stupid challenges, and it's the perfect little thing to fill in an idea that I had that I didn't really want to do today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Oh, we can get going in forwards as well. Let's go back to base over here while I'm talking. But let me know what you thought of this challenge in the comments, and if you have any suggestions for future ones. I'm going to keep making cool automation videos, so I would suggest that you subscribe to this channel and like this video and comment stuff if you want to. Check me out on Patreon. Check me out on the YouTube join button stuff if you want to support me. One of those two is always a good option. And I also have a Discord, and I'm running out of social media because honestly, I kind of hate social media, so I'm trying to stay away from anything except YouTube. But yeah, those are my main places, so check me out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon, but yeah, there's something we gotta do first. Come on. beamng. There's a reason I play this game, and it isn't the physics. It's the carnage. See you next week. So you remember a couple minutes ago when I said I have a join button membership thing? Well, if you want to get your name shouted out at the end of every video, then you might want to check that out. This is the $5 tier, and yeah, these are for the people who want to support me a little bit extra. V8s is what I call them. V8s are cool. V8s are probably my favorite engines. Actually, I should totally do a video on favorite engines. That sounds like a fun thing. What's your favorite engine? Let me know. Or engine configuration, I guess. V8 is a configuration. So, before I go too far, I just want to say thank you to Overlord, Terry01, Sinlab, J. Pope, Davis Heister, Baja Blast, Goofy Plays, Phoenix Shark, Mancini Country, Shadow Jasper, I Look Valheim Milk. Thank you for watching, guys. Bit of a funny story this week. I talked about it in the Discord, but I want to talk about it here for membership purposes only if you made it to the end of the video. So Raid Shadow Legends reached out to me. They've done this a few times in the past. They actually have offered me like quite a bit of money to do a sponsorship for them, but I have morals, so I don't. The sponsorship request email asked me for my rate, which means it's like how much would they or would I expect them to pay me to do like an ad integration in a video. And I said $10,000, which to be honest is about 100 times too high. And they didn't reply. So there you go. That's where my moral limit stops. 10 grand and above, I'll take any sponsorship. Okay, that's not totally true, but I just thought it was really funny. So yeah, don't worry. You won't see any crappy mobile games on here. And if you do, they're paying me a premium. Thanks for supporting, guys, so I don't have to take these deals or undercut myself for anything less than I'm worth. You know what I'm saying? Slay Queen. See you again next week.